Silent Screams brings you a haunting tale that will send shivers down your spine. Tonight, we recount a fishing story that turned into a nightmare, a tale set in the shadowy heart of Black River Falls, where whispers of dark waters and lost souls still ripple through the townsfolk. The moon hung low over Black River Falls, casting a pale, silvery glow on the rippling surface of the water. Its reflection danced like a restless specter, shivering under the light summer breeze. The dense forest surrounding the river seemed to press in, leaning over the dark current as if straining to hear a secret it once knew. For Sam, Greg, and Alex, the river was familiar, a haven for their late-night fishing trips and stories shared over warm cans of cheap beer. They never expected this night to be any different. The boat, old and wooden with peeling paint that hinted at a brighter past, creaked under their shifting weight. Sam, the eldest of the trio with a bristly beard that barely masked his perpetual smirk, reached for his fishing line. "This place," he muttered, half to himself and half to the silent water, "has the best tales. You know, they say the river's haunted." His tone was playful, but the words left a chill. Greg, always the skeptic, scoffed, tossing a half-empty can into the cooler. "Spare me, Sam. You've been trying to spook us with that nonsense for years." Alex, younger and more easily rattled, glanced over his shoulder at the looming trees. Shadows shifted in the corner of his eyes, but each time he turned, they melted into the underbrush. He swallowed hard. "Can we not? Just once, can we not bring up ghosts while we're out here at midnight?" A sudden tug on Sam's line cut through their banter. His eyes widened with excitement. "Got one." The rod bent under the weight of his catch, the line slicing through the water with a sound that broke the quiet tension of the night. But as he pulled, the weight grew heavier, unnatural. Sam's face contorted, his knuckles white as he struggled. "Help me, this one's massive," he gasped, his voice strained. Greg leaned over, grinning. "Don't tell me the fish are haunted too." But his humor faltered as the boat rocked harder, the water beneath them churning. A deep guttural noise gurgled up from the depths, a sound that didn't belong in nature. The air shifted, colder now, raising goosebumps on their arms. Alex's heart pounded, a thrum so loud he swore the others could hear it. The smell hit them next, a foul, rotting stench that wafted up from the river, making Greg gag. "Cut the line, Sam," Greg barked, his bravado evaporating. But Sam didn't move. His eyes were locked on the surface, wide and unblinking as something began to break through the murky water. A hand, a pale, bloated hand with skin hanging in strips, reached up and latched onto the side of the boat. It was followed by another, slick with river muck, gripping the old wood so tightly that the nails scraped, leaving thin, deep grooves. Alex screamed, the sound cutting through the air like a siren. Greg stumbled back, eyes darting from the apparition to Sam, who was frozen, paralyzed by terror. Before any of them could react further, a head emerged from the water. The face was a grotesque mask of decay, with empty, blackened eyes that glowed faintly red, reflecting the moonlight. The boat shuddered violently as if an unseen force pushed against it from below. The three friends lurched, struggling to stay upright. Sam's voice returned in a broken whisper. "Let go. Let go of the line." The figure pulled itself higher, water pouring from the tattered remnants of a dress that once might have been white. Her hair was a stringy, tangled mass clinging to a face split by an unnatural, jagged grin. The apparition's mouth opened, emitting a low, keening wail that vibrated through their bones. Time seemed to slow. The sound of the river, once a gentle companion, now roared in their ears, blending with the wail that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The forest around them, dark and silent, stood witness, branches quivering as though in fear. Greg, finally regaining some semblance of control, lunged forward, fumbling with the line. His fingers, slick with sweat and shaking, worked desperately to sever the taut cord. The ghost's eyes snapped to him, the red glow intensifying as the wailing stopped abruptly. Silence fell, more terrifying than any sound. "Greg, don't," Alex started, but it was too late. The line snapped, the boat lurching backward as the tension released. The ghost's expression shifted, the twisted grin stretching wider as her fingers slipped from the boat and she sank slowly back beneath the water, eyes locked onto theirs until the very last moment. The three sat in stunned silence, their breath ragged, chest heaving. The river calm, the surface smoothing over as though nothing had happened. But the air remained cold, the stench lingering like a cruel joke. Sam's eyes darted to the spot where she had disappeared. "We need to leave. Now." The oar splashed into the water, trembling in Sam's hands as he rowed with a desperation none of them had seen before. Greg, usually so quick with a retort, was silent, staring blankly at the ripples. Alex, unable to shake the sight of that face, whispered a prayer under his breath, his eyes darting to the shoreline. But just as they thought the nightmare might end, a rustling came from the trees, followed by a low, familiar wail. This time, it echoed not just from the water,